So let's talk about Secret Decoder Game. Basically, what you're doing is bringing out objects and the child, and they're objects that have 3 sounds to them. And let's say that right now, I'm not going to be able to pull up 3 sounds. Here's another one. This is a lid. I have a little tiny lid. I have a basket of objects. And my basket of random objects I use when I'm tutoring in person, and the children get to pick these as their guides to move around the board. And I also use these as my markers on my bingo board. That makes bingo super fun because you get to pick an object to cover your square. And trust me, these are random objects, leftover toys from my son, beverages, whatever. It doesn't matter. You can buy your objects from a place called Montessori Services. They have a ton of fabulous objects that have just 3 sounds in them that are perfect for kindergarten and 1st grade. So the Secret Decoder Game is having objects, and then you tap the arm spell what the object is, and the kid sees among the objects that are laid out which object is it. So if you had these objects and I arm spelled shell, then the child would find shell, right? So you can do this with older children where your objects are 1-syllable word. Nut, nut, and the child finds nut. That limits the difficulty, right? Because that child, when you're arm spelling these words, the child only has to choose from these specific objects. But another way you can play this game in the whole classroom that is fabulous, that I used to do when I was teaching 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade in Montessori schools, is to use it as an I Spy game. And I would play I Spy with kids where it would be any random time. It might be a time where the kids are coming in from recess, and I'm wanting to refocus the group before we did our silent reading. And I would bring them all together, and I would start doing the I Spy game. Guess how quickly they would come to the carpet, right? Because they wanted to play I Spy game too. Be quiet so they could hear me do this activity. So they would all be coming in, and I would start, and I would say, I spy with my little eye air. And then if they knew it, they would raise their hand. Not call out, raise their hand. Air. And that would give the other kids who are needed more repetition an opportunity to try again. And then we would say it all together. Who knows it? Ready? And like a choir, I would direct them, and they would all say chair, so that everybody got to enunciate chair and say chair in their mouth. Sometimes if I was really clever, I would have them arm spell it. Not often, because I wasn't that clever 20 years ago when I started doing this work. But I would be that clever now. And especially in a 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade classroom, I would have them go, let's do it together, air, right? Why? Because for the 1st graders, it helps with their, for all of them, it's phonemic awareness. We're developing that ear training. For the younger children, it becomes a reading and spelling activity. For the older children, they get to do all this, what we call phonemic segmentation, air. And if they already know how to spell it, they're thinking like, what says air? A-I-R. Oh, that does say air. And now I'm hearing myself say air slowly. And that becomes a spelling support for children. So you can do I Spy. You can do 3, 4, 5 different times through. It doesn't have to be any length of time. And it's an activity that you can slide in to your school day to help bring the children's attention to something that's engaging and fun, because you're giving them a puzzle and you're saying, can you figure out my puzzle, right? If you had a class, like if you're in middle school or upper elementary, you don't have to do chair. You can do, I have a 2-word I Spy. Ready? For my 2 spot, don't call out. Ready? Oh, let me try again. Smart board. And they have to hold all of that in their working memory and then go smartboard. And the ones who get it right away raise their hands, and then you do it again. Smart board. And the kids get to practice all of that phonemic awareness of hearing the individual sounds. That's exactly what we're doing in our lessons, but you're doing it at any random time that you want to have a little brain break with the children. You can get the children up. And I will tell you that you can't get children up Maybe you can, even if they're on Zoom, they can stand up and arm spell it with you. But wouldn't it be fun also for once the children learn how to play this game, that the children become the leaders of the game and the children get to have it take a turn. They get to think of a word like able and arm spell it and see if their friends can guess it. And you create a community in your classroom of kids who are doing this phonemic segmentation all the time. And that I Spy game that is layered into elementary classrooms has incredible potential to help the children develop not just phonemic awareness, but phonemic proficiency, that they hear all of the different pieces of the language and all of the words that are, all of the spoken words that they're familiar with in their environment, they are now segmenting those words. Think about what that does for a child in terms of their spelling. So this activity isn't just about helping children to be able to read, because reading and spelling are two sides of the same coin. When we support children with phonemic segmentation that boosts their spelling, it also is an aid to their reading. In fact, it's a backdoor way to be able to support reading with older children who might have some resistance to the idea that they need to work on their reading.